So you're the Jake Paul of sports betting?
Hell yeah, baby.
I love it. I'll be Logan. I'll
You
be
you
Logan.
did you did you did compare me to someone else though. Who did you compare me to?
Oh yeah, sure. I'm still waiting for the t-shirts. Welcome back, everyone, to the Prince Huda podcast. That's right, your boy back-to-back weeks with an upload. I don't think I did that once in 2024. I'm your host, Prince Huda, and I told you I'm coming with a different energy in 2025. I said it at 1-ish in the morning on Instagram on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, I guess, that 2025 will be my biggest year yet. And this podcast is a big part of it. And the new format we've taken with the Dare to Dream features. I want to thank Hadi again for joining us last week. And this week we got another banger of an episode, a very special guest. Every week will be special, but I want him to know that I mean it. Chip from 3OversDaily. If you follow me, you've probably seen this man before. If you follow him, then you've definitely seen this man before. We've collabed several times. He makes parlays every single day, brought to you by random Canadians, and he's currently traveling across Canada, getting Canadians to make him a parlay for 99 straight days. Absolutely incredible story. How the trip came about, how his content creation career came about, and just some general thoughts on the state of sports betting in the world today. Believe it or not, before we get to the interview, I actually did a skit with Chip back in September, I want to say. It was before the NFL season started. It was about two people in fantasy football league bantering over a trade. And it did pretty well. I think it was at like 200K or something. I think that was the first video of this NFL season that made me go, huh, I think I have something here when it comes to skits and straying away from betting content. And I've been seeing some absolutely insane numbers on social media lately. We are closing in on 10K. I don't know if we'll be at 10K by the time this comes out, but we'll be closer. We're just over 1,000 away. We might be under that by the time this episode comes out. Who knows? But I appreciate all you. This NFL season has been crazy. And funny enough, the first episode or the first skit/episode that I did of the NFL season was with Chip, and it went crazy. So without further ado, I just want to thank you all again for the continued support. And I hope you please watch and enjoy this episode of the Prince Huda podcast with 3OversDaily. Here we go. Joining me today, a man I know very well, and if you bet on sports and like to make parlays, I'm sure you know very well. He is currently traveling across Canada, making parlays every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest today, Chip from 3OversDaily. How you doing, brother?
Prince, what is up, man? Thank you for inviting me on. If it's nice because I'm all alone in this big hotel room, it's nice to talk to somebody.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, Tucker, I was the first guest, but he bailed on me. So I think, yeah, your dog, and now that you were the runner up guest, so I appreciate you taking the time.
He's down here right now if you want to get a piece of action, but he's chewing on one of his new bones, so I'm gonna leave him be.
That's awesome. So, for those that don't know, Chip runs a sports betting social media page, and currently he is on a 99-day trip across Canada making parlays every single day. So, I want to just get an update. Where are you right now, and what day are we at?
I am in Prince George, British Columbia, and I am on day 73. Tomorrow will be day 74. So I am in the last province of my run, and I'm going to spend 24 days here making sure I get all of BC because BC is pretty sick.
That's awesome. So, you started just to remind the people where you started in Halifax or
Yeah, so I started this journey in Nova Scotia. Day one was in Yarmouth, my hometown, and then this day two was Halifax, and so on and so forth. And I've just been traveling across Canada, getting random people or random businesses or anyone really to make my three game over parlay every single day, and it's been a hell of a ride, man.
That's crazy. Yeah, I just imagine driving across Canada, like, you know, 5 days in, it's cool. 10 days in, it's cool. But you're at day what, 70, 71,
I'm on day 70, 73, and it's still pretty damn
73.
cool. I'm not gonna
That's
lie to you.
awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah.
you know what, I didn't, I, I've been planning for a while, so I really knew what I was getting myself into. It wasn't just like this out of the blue trip I did, and my partner Bet99 was there for me and helped me, and my other partner Smith and Watt Chrysler Dodge Jeep gave me a Jeep to take across the country, paid for gas and all that stuff. So took a lot of financial burden off of me, which really helped me focus on creating good content. I always like to tell people I'm a content creator first, not a sports bettor. I'll always stick by that. Like you'll never see me selling picks online or anything like that. I get random people to make my picks for me, and I make content, right? So I get paid through content, not through sports betting. No one will ever get paid through sports betting full time. It's just ridiculous.
I don't know. There's a couple people on Twitter and Instagram that make tens of thousands of units a week. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. I've been gambling since I was 18 years old. That's 15 years, and I've never had a winning year. So whoever they're liars. They're all liars. I'm kidding. I have a lot of friends in that business, and I love you all, but shut up, all of you. Just shut up.
Totally, totally. Well, I want to take you back to the beginning here. So we mentioned kind of where you are now in the journey of traveling across Canada, but before all of that, when you first started that Instagram page, when you posted that first video, what was the thought process there? What made you want to start sharing your creativity with the world?
Essentially, what happened was I was selling home and auto insurance for the last 10 years. And with what happened in Canada with all the natural disasters, the home and auto insurance world just like their premiums doubled. Everyone was mad. Claim backups. I was dealing with about 10 really negative calls a day, and that kind of just leads to a really depressing situation. So I needed something to kind of jump me again, to make me feel good again. And I was sports betting every day, anyways. I was gambling every day, anyways, 50 to 100 bucks a day on overs. And I told myself, well, why don't I just start a cool, fun TikTok and Instagram page where I get random people to make my bets for me. That way, if I lose, I'm not going to get in trouble, and if I win, I'm a genius.
Makes sense.
So yeah, so literally just it started with like my mom and my dad and my neighbor making my picks for me, and then I took a few editing classes and learned how to like edit. But if you watch my videos from my first week compared to now, obviously they're like way different. Like I wouldn't even watch my very first video. I watched it and I was like, oh my god, I thought this was really good, but so at the end of the day, literally, man, like it's 6 months into it, I started making money making content and then getting a few brand deals, and I just quit my job. I don't know, like I just quit my full time job of over $100,000 a year to make content.
Was it always parlays? Like you said, you bet overs, but where did the parlay aspect come from? Was that always the thing, or were you ever a straight better? Like, how did that come about?
No, it was never a straight better because like you could never get me hard enough to win $100, and I'm not gonna really bet more than $100. So I always wanted to bet like around 50 to $100 to feel something. So I always bet 50 to $100 parlays, 3 to 5 games. I'd always want to win between 500 to $1,000, and I'd actually feel something. So $100 on 3 games, that'll usually pay between 500 to $800. So that's where I got the very first idea. And day one, my mom, my dad, and my neighbor picked, and we won. Day two, the same three people picked, we won that one. Day three, the same three people picked, we won that one. So the first 3 days, we were up like 20, like 2 grand, and we never looked back. I have not spent my own money on a parlay yet. I have not. I have not been in the red yet, and currently to date, we are over $7,000 in profit
Damn,
since we started. Yeah, pretty nuts, man.
that works. Yeah, I mean, if you follow daily, it's like, oh, he lost, he won, but I guess like over time, the ROI on these long shots definitely outweighs the day to day wins and losses.
Well, the first 14 days of the cross Canada trip, I didn't win. I was minus 1,400 on the trip, and then we won 3 days in a row, and
There
we
you
were back
go.
in. It's like nothing happened. So,
Let's
so
chill.
yeah, like the thing about with what I do is like you just need one win a week to be even, and then usually, if you get 2 or 3 wins in a row, you're good to go for quite a while. But now that we've been doing it for 14 months, and like the wins piled up, I have all the receipts from every single bet I've made, and yeah, I think we're like $7,300 in profit.
I mean, you could be charging for this stuff. You're up what 73 units in a year.
Pretty nuts, pretty nuts. But I always told myself the day I started charging picks is the day I bitched out. So I don't.
Okay.
You know what I thought I might do though. Like I might set up like a $5 dub club. Like when I have like 100,000 followers, and I might just do chips, own 3 overs a day. Take them as singles or take them as a parlay. That's it, right? $5
Hell
a
yeah.
month. Like just to have fun with it. Like who cares if someone pays $5 a month? Like whatever. They're gonna spend way more than that on gambling anyways. But like just for me to actually get invested in my own picks and see how far that goes. But I mean, what I have is working, so I'm not gonna change it.
Yeah, I mean, a cold brew at Starbucks is like 4.25, right? So one of those a month. I mean, if we're hitting winners, what's the big deal for that 5? I like that. It's funny you
Yes.
mentioned picks hit for you to start. So when I started doing, I think I told you the story before. When I started doing my social media journey, I was doing Prince Huda picks. So it was the NBA Finals was on that night. It was the Celtics and the Warriors, I believe. And I gave out 3 picks. I was like, you know what? I'm not a professional. Here are 3 picks I like. Over 3.
Over three.
That's how my journey started. Over 3. So it's nice to hear you
And
won
then
your first day. That
and
probably
then you
brought a
just
lot of
start
people back. So
you just start chasing after that. You're just like, no, there's more. I got more. They're better. Then oh yeah, then you're like 1 for 3, and then you end up giving out 5 picks, and you're like 1 for 5. It's just a whirlwind of crap.
well, I don't know if it's the same for you, but in my experience with the picks is like the videos do better when the picks don't hit versus when they do.
Well, of course they do, because you know what the thing is, man. The thing with the sports betting world is there's three different types of people. There's people that will root for you. There's
Mhm.
people that will bet against you, and there's people who want to see your failure, demise, like completely demise. And then there's people. Actually, there's four. I'm gonna say that again because this might be a good clip. So the thing about the sports betting world is three different type. Blah. The thing about the sports betting world is there's three different type of people. There's people that root for you. There's people that root against you, and then there's people who just like you. They just like you for who you are. They don't care what happens. So if you can gather all three of those people in your content, in what you do, then you're winning. You don't really care. Like if you have people following you because they want to see you lose, well, you're still getting engagement that way. Um, but if you have people following you for all three of those reasons, because they like you, they want to see you win, and they want to see you lose, you're gonna go pretty far. It's like like the Jake Paul effect. There's people that follow him because they hate him, but they're still following him. They're still engaging. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. But in the content world, as long as you have the followers and the engagement, you're gonna get paid. So um, that's the kind of angle I took from it. I was like, there's gonna be people who follow me who are pissed when I win because they didn't tail. Then there's gonna be people who follow me who are pumped when they win because they tailed. There's people who won't bet at all. They just love the content.
So you're the Jake Paul of sports betting?
Hell yeah, baby.
I love it. I'll be Logan. I'll
You
be
you
Logan.
did you did you did compare me to someone else though. Who did you compare me to?
Oh yeah, sure. I'm
Oh.
still waiting for the t-shirt. So we talked about the start of this journey. Now let's talk to where we are now. Currently traveling across Canada making parlays. There is another Canadian unsung hero who traveled across Canada for a much different cause, and he goes by the name of Terry Fox. I would like to consider you the Terry Fox of the sports betting world.
Yeah, and you know what? As much as I appreciate you and love you and appreciate that, I don't know if I can even accept it because he's such a legend.
Yeah.
I love it so much that I feel like I'm nowhere close to much of a hero. As I look at myself as a hero. Okay, I'm a hero.
Right.
It is what it is. I'm crossing the land making parlays for the people. That's pretty damn heroic. But I'm no Terry Fox. Let's just leave it at that.
That's fair. Yeah, and for anyone that's unfamiliar with the Terry Fox story, definitely recommend googling that one once you're done with this episode. A really inspiring and tremendous hero in Canadian history. I just wanted to give you your props. I mean, I think that T-shirt would sell a couple.
Uh, Yeah, and you know what? I did stop at the Terry Fox Monument. You can probably get that
Yes,
in
I
there
remember
with
that.
with some B-roll. I had a very emotional day at the Terry Fox Monument in Thunder Bay, Ontario, and seeing that was at a time in my trip where I think it was like day 30, and it was so cold. It was like minus 40, and I was in Northern Ontario, so it was just dark, cold, and gross. I wasn't winning any parlays at that time. And I was just like, why, what am I doing this for again? And then I walked up to that Terry Fox monument and I was like, just keep going, dude. Like, just keep freaking going. Like, you've planned this out forever. Stop being a little, you know what I mean? And just keep going. And you know what? I'm so much more motivated now than I was then. I think because I've just done the damn thing. And I feel like the next 24 days are going to be so easy compared to the first 30. Because the first 30, you're still like, I still have this much trip left. But now you're like, I'm in the final process of finishing this epic, amazing journey. I've done it without any hiccups, knock on wood. I've been a good boy. I've gone to bed early every night. I've woken up early every day. I've prepped for all my videos. I've collaborated with huge restaurants, huge businesses, big people, and I've done it all right, right? And now I'm just sitting here like I'm more on the grateful side now. Like nothing is hard anymore. Whereas the beginning, it was really, really difficult.
It's awesome. When it comes
Yeah.
to the actual gambling component of the trip, Do you ever find a night where you're just like, do I really got to bet tonight? Do I really got to do this? Like, do you still have the emotional attachment to your parlays, or do you see it more as a piece of content and work?
That's a really good question. I think I'm always going to be emotionally attached to a bet. I think it's even more elevated now when everyone's watching. Like your audience has grown a lot over the last 6 months, and so has mine. And we have a lot more eyes on us than ever. And now that I'm on day 70 and all these people are watching me now, I think I'm way more emotionally attached to these bets because I want them. It's amazing when they hit. It's amazing
Right.
posting that story after the bet hits saying we did it. You know what I mean? And the best part about it is it's not even sad or depressing when they don't hit because most of the time like a random lady on the street who knows nothing about sports is making my parlay. So no one's going to get mad or upset about that. And the fact that we're up so much money as a channel, you lose 3, 4 days in a row, you're still over $7,000 in profit. So we're sitting in such a comfortable spot that losing doesn't hurt us, but the wins feel so good because you feel like you're winning with a community. There's definitely people that tail, and they understand and know that all these bets are made at random. I've never been in trouble for losing. No one's ever sent me hate messages. No one's ever been mad or upset if the bet misses. But when they win, man, I get like the nicest messages in the world, but when I lose, I don't. So it's a very rare thing in sports betting when you can have a page where you don't get in shit when you lose, but everyone still loves you when you win.
Well said. Well said.
Dang,
Yeah,
that's a great question, bud. Yeah,
I would get roasted. I tried doing a pick the other day for the Bengals game. Thought I was
I
like,
remember that.
let me just bring it back for one time. No views. Everyone telling me I suck. It didn't hit. And I'm just like, you know what? This is why I stopped doing this types of videos. So
I
I'm glad
remember
you're able
that.
to
Yeah,
find the sweet middle in this genre.
yeah. It's rare, man. It's rare to find it, but I'm really happy I was able to.
For sure. I think anyone that I guess like you said, the way it works is random people make it. So they can't really direct their anger at you if like you said a 60-year-old woman in Sudbury made the parlay. That's like
Exactly. Yeah,
it's like
and then
investing in Hawk Tuah coin. It's like you know what you're
yeah,
getting into here. Like let's pump the
hell yeah.
brakes.
And you can't even get upset with the lady who made the bets. You can't get mad at anybody. The only person
No.
you can get mad at is yourself for tailing because it's an uneducated random bet. And if you're gonna get upset for losing, then you're just either betting too much money or you don't know exactly what it is that I do. I've had that happen a few times on my page where someone seen my story, tailed the parlay, and then they kind of oh, this guy just makes random bets. You know what I mean? Like he's not like it, it's like we said, it's such a sweet middle ground that I'm so grateful to be able to do this every day.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't tell a lot of people this, but in 2024, my New Year's resolution was stop getting so emotionally involved in your bets. If it ever takes over like that, lower the unit size, take a break, put the phone down. It's really not that important. And there's been good
I
days
think
and bad days, but I think I've been able to manage it a lot better this year.
lowering the unit size is such an important one, man. Um, like if you're betting to the point where when it's not fun when you watch, what are you doing? Like you at this point, you're just actually betting to make money when you should only really, unless you have that money to waste, you should really only be betting for entertainment value. And whatever your entertainment value is, the amount that you can lose is what you should be placing. Anything more than that, you're literally betting money you don't have,
That's
in my
my
opinion.
my philosophy is every time I make a bet, the minute I hit place bet, it's a loser. And if it wins, oh cool. If it doesn't, all right, it was a good game. So like Sunday, the Bucks played the Commanders, right? I had
Yeah,
Terry McLaurin yards and Tampa Bay to win, right? McLaurin yards hit, and Tampa Bay comes down to the end. They lose on a field goal. Okay, it was a great game. I lost the bet,
yeah,
but it was a great game. Whereas the year before, oh, that game sucked. Tampa lost. I hate football. It's understanding that the bet doesn't matter. Okay, it's about enjoying
yeah.
the game and being a fan first.
And you're right. As soon as the bet's placed, the money is gone. Just know that in your head. And then as long as you can bet enough to understand your entertainment value, I always say like three. If someone bets $10 on a parlay for a 3 hour game, that's literally like if you went to a bar for 3 hours, you're spending $80 anyways. So if you're sitting at home and placing $10 and not going out, there's no way you can get mad at that. That's 3 hours of unreal entertainment that you would get nowhere else. You're not going to get that watching the Born Supremacy. You know what I mean? Like, so know your limits, stay within it.
For sure. And the highs of gambling outweigh the lows. Like there's no better feeling than cashing a
Oof.
bet or a parlay. I know the
Oh
lows
yeah.
suck, but when you hit one after a while, everything in life just feels a little bit easier.
And all those losses just leave. Like I said,
Yeah.
the first 14 days on this trip, we didn't hit a parlay. Dude, the first 14 days of a trip I planned for 6 months, we didn't hit a parlay,
That's
and we were losing like the hardest ways. Like we were winning 2 out of 3, and the third game would come down to one goal, and we wouldn't hit. Like it was maddening. And then we win 3 days in a row, and it's like those 14 days never even happened. It's like those 14 days were just so far behind us because now we're in the profit on the trip. We all the money we lost, $1,400 we lost over 14 days. Now we're plus 600. So we won all our money back, and we had $600. Thank you.
mhm. Yeah,
Can't beat it.
that's all you can ask for. Well,
Yeah.
one thing I think that you do particularly well that I'm sure a lot of people listening would be curious about is a lot of times that it may just be a civilian on the street. You got to make your parlays, but a lot of these days recently, you're working with businesses. When you were down in Cuba, you were working with the resort, breweries, different companies. I just kind of wanted to get a little bit of behind the scenes if you're able to share. How do you go about building these relationships and kind of making the first move to get these content collaborations with companies that may not necessarily think sports betting is the right thing for me to collaborate with?
Yeah, that's a another great question. What did you have a list of unbelievable questions written down?
I
Because
I do. They're right over there. Actually, they're
you're
right
killing the
there.
interview here. It's amazing. When I first started, it was just within my own town. Everyone knew who I was, so it was a lot easier to get in the door. And then I started traveling, and the first thing I do is find them on Instagram, of course, follow them, make sure you follow them. I made that mistake once. I sent them a DM and I got the reply, dude, you're not even following us. I was like, oh, that's rough. That was when I first started. But yeah, and you're not following them just to um just so they can work with you. You have a genuine interest in their business and you want to follow them, you keep following them. And then you send them a DM and then you hope that they reply. And if they reply, usually you make something work through a DM and then you meet them in person. But if they don't reply, usually that just means it went to their hidden messages, and we get that a lot. Where a lot of new people who message us, it'll go right to our hidden messages, especially if we're not following them and we don't see it. Um, so then I'll walk right into the establishment and shake their hand, tell them my name, tell them what I do, and tell them that everything's free. And I tell them that they're doing me a favor because they are. Um, like show them a few videos to kind of show them that I'm serious and I take what I do very seriously. And I tell them I do all the work. I need them for half an hour, and I'm going to give them a free promo for their video. And then when it comes down to the sports betting part of it, I always say that to them. I say, listen, not everyone wants to work with somebody who gambles, and that's my page. And you are going to have to make my picks for me. It is all for fun. I make sure that they understand that that everything we do is fun. There's no pressure when we make our picks. It's all for fun. And that's only about 5% of the video. As you know, you've seen my stuff. Like 95% of my video is either promoting their business, making a meal with them. If like I'm making their famous burger. They show me how to make their burger from start to finish. And then at the end of the video, I thank them and say, "Here's my iPad. Pick 3 games. That's it." So I think the biggest thing if you want to get into this world, you have to be confident enough in your stuff to go approach these people because if you're not, they're never going to come to you. I promise you that. You're not going to get messages from these companies unless you have 100,000 followers and they really want to work with you. At that point, you're getting paid for it from the companies themselves. But you have to just be confident in what you do, and you have to walk into their establishments, and you have to feel like you're going to make a difference. Like you have to feel like your video will make a difference for them. A few of my videos made a big difference to some people on this trip, and that feels better than winning any parlay.
One thing from the journey across Canada that I was dying to ask you about on here, the tattoo.
What about
For
it?
for those that don't know, one of the days Chip went to a tattoo parlor and had the tattoo artist make the parlay, and it was such a good parlay. He got a tattoo to his leg permanently. If you want to show it, show it. For those listening, he is showing a three-leg NHL parlay tattooed to his quad.
Yeah, that was a great episode, and I told myself I have a bunch of tattoos anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I told myself if it doesn't hit, it's a great story. Um, if it hits, it'd be incredible. It didn't hit. We actually went over three. But the very first parlay that I won, I went to a place in Quebec and I got poutines to pick my parlay. So They had 8 poutines on the menu. I corresponded a game with each poutine, and I got the people at the Ashton Poutine place
Ooh,
to give me three poutines. And then when I got them, I just corresponded each game with the poutine. And that was the first parlay we won on the trip. So I'm getting that tattooed on my left leg with the three green check marks, the payout, and everything. So
the poutines or the parlay or both?
the parlay, yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna put the poutine parlay above it, and then I'm gonna put the three games, three green check marks, and then the plus and the amount one. So like
Wow.
it looks like a slip, yeah. To even out the legs, I got to even out the legs, right?
Of course, put a winner on the other side. I like that. So, what
Yeah.
was the mindset there? Just I need a crazy video for today. What would be crazier than a tattoo? Was it tattoo artist idea? Was it your idea? What happened there?
No, 100%. I just wanted a crazy video. I wanted something to pop. I wanted something. It did.
It did
It did
numbers,
really
yeah.
well for me. It didn't do Prince like numbers, but it did numbers for long form content. It was like a 3 or 4 minute video. It did well. I think it got 25,000 views on Instagram the first day and with like 150 shares. So that's a good video for me because my videos are pretty long. Um, and yeah, I just really wanted a one, like it was like day 6 or 7, and I wanted people to let people know on this cross Canada trip that I'm in there. Like this is a very serious trip for me, and I'm doing it big. So, and I think it was the perfect time to do it at the beginning of the trip. Got a lot of attention. The tattoo artist was amazing. I think she was the second person I messaged, and she was so fun to work with, man. Like that video. Yeah, if you can, when you edit this, if you can just put, I don't know how, but maybe like just a clip of the video on it. Like, fuck, it was so good, man.
Was she like, "Are you sure you want this? Do you know it's permanent? Are we serious about this?" Or was she, "Let's do it"?
If I didn't have any other tattoos, I think she would have been like that. But I have, like I said, I have a bunch. So she knew what I was getting myself into, and she loved the idea. She knew that she was gonna be on camera the whole time. She knew that she was gonna be in the video. She went with we had a little bit of a script here and there, like things to say to make it funny, and she killed those lines. Yeah, she's great, man. I'm actually gonna get her to do the other tattoo when I on the way back home.
That was my next question. So, you get to the end of Canada. Do you drive back? Do you fly back? Ship the car? How you getting back home?
I'm just gonna haul ass.
Okay.
I'll just drive 8 to 10 hours a day until I get home. Honestly, I'm not worried about it.
You don't
I'm
want to
not
rip
thinking about it right
you don't
now.
want to rip another 99 and go back the same way?
Not
Follow
even
up with
close.
everyone? No?
No, what I do want to do though, and I will do. I don't know if I want to announce this yet. No, I'll leave it out.
Okay, keep it, keep it. Keep it in the
Yeah,
vault.
yeah,
Keep it in the vault.
yeah. There's a cool thing coming, so I'll tell you through text after.
Okay. Well, I was just yeah,
Yeah.
I was dying to ask you about the tattoo
Let's
story.
just say there's two provinces we didn't hit up, so I'll leave it at
Oh.
that.
Okay, cool, cool.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
yeah.
I was dying to ask you about the tattoo story. That was the first thing that came to mind, and it made for a great video and a story you can tell forever. So that's awesome.
Yes, that's correct.
Now, if we take the sports betting out of it, you're doing something right now that I'm sure a lot of Canadians have thought about doing their entire lives. You're backpacking across Canada, just you, Tucker, your dog, and in the Jeep. What has that experience been like? Disregarding the content, disregarding the work aspect, and obviously the financial component. What has it been like just driving across Canada for the last 2 months?
Well, there's a bunch of words I can use. I think like it's a big mix of like difficult, emotional, rewarding, and gratifying. Like the emotional part about it is just seeing results. I think is one of the most emotional things because you work so hard to get these results, and you're kind of living out your dream. Like my dream is to make it. Like any content creator who's doing it full time, their dream is to make it. And a trip like this helps in certain ways. I think the difficulty aspect is finding the energy to get up every day, and you have to be on. So there's a big part of my job every day, and it's to get up, drive to where I need to go, find where I'm going to film, come up with an idea, pitch someone, plan the video out, film it, edit it, post it. It's just so much work, man. Like I can't. Anyone who thinks content creation is just a little job, it's not. It's the most work I've ever done in my life by far. And doing it while traveling across Canada, making travel plans and going to the next town and figuring out where you're going to shoot, what you're going to do has been the most difficult but rewarding thing I've ever done in my life because I'm proving to myself that I can do it. You know what I mean? And I feel like anything after this is going to be so easy. I feel like I'm just going to be like It's going to be the easiest thing I've ever done in comparison to what I'm doing now. But I do highly suggest, if you can, do it because the country itself is pretty damn amazing.
You sold me on the trip when I saw the Rocky Mountains videos the other day. That was
Man,
just you're standing there. I'm like, is that a green screen? What the fuck? Like that was
nuts.
insane. It looks
The
like
the
that
one right
every
on
day. That's crazy.
the one right on Banff Avenue, like that one
Mm.
with that big mountain behind me, that was like, yeah, man, it's so hard to explain. And it's funny because everyone in my DMs was like, wait till you get to Rocky Mountains. I'm like, I know. And then you see them and you're like, holy shit,
Had you been
this is
before, or was that your
crazy.
first time?
No,
Okay.
no. And like the video that I posted, like Canadian sees Rocky Mountains for the first time, has been my best video yet. It has over 500,000 views between my three platforms. And it's it's the truth. Like it's my genuine reaction to seeing the Rocky Mountains for the first time. And I'm just like, looking up and around. And I'm like, this is never ending. And I'm in Prince George, British Columbia, and they're still going. I'm 6 hours from Jasper, 8 hours from Banff, no, 9 hours from Banff, and it's still going. Like there's still Rocky Mountains around me. It's crazy.
Wow. Beautiful. I've never been out
Yeah,
west. I went to Edmonton once. That's the furthest I've gone. So definitely want to check out the Rocky Mountains someday.
yeah, dude. Please do because it's epic.
I bet. I bet. So you kind of briefly mentioned it there. What is a day in the life like on the road? If you want to just take me through from the time I know you
Yeah,
wake up very early. I kind of follow the stories throughout the day. From the time you wake up to the time that final game of the parlay ends, what's a day in the life like?
yeah. So I mean, being out west is a lot more difficult because right now I'm 3 hours behind you. I'm 4 hours behind my home. So you want to get these videos out for people to enjoy and for them to do well earlier. Like if I drop videos at 5 o'clock, like they're not going to get the numbers I want. So
Right.
a lot of times now I'm trying to get the video shot the day before, and then I wake up and I'll edit it over a coffee in the morning. But usually I'm up around 5 a.m. Latest will be up at 6 o'clock. Take care of Tucker, make sure he goes out, poos and peas. I find a coffee anywhere I can. That's the very first thing I do. Um, and then and usually I'll have a video to edit. So I'll sit down, I'll edit that video. And then as soon as that video is done, edited, posted, now I go find what I'm going to do that day. If it's not already planned. A lot of times it's already planned. A lot of times I already know what I'm going to do. I'm either going to be working with the business or I would do on my like an on the street in that town. And at that point, the day before, I've already planned out that whole video on my iPad. And what I'll do is I have on my notes on my iPhone, I have the whole video planned out. Then I take a picture with my iPad, and it's kind of like a script that I can use. And then I shoot, and then I have lunch. I don't eat until I'm done shooting everything. I don't touch food until I'm done
Ooh.
shooting everything because I'm kind of like a lion. Like I want to be hungry throughout the day. If I'm full behind the camera, it sucks. So I just don't eat. Coffee gets me through it. Yeah, and then you have to go. Then you have to go plan your next day. Like where are you going to be? Where are you sleeping? What town are you going to? Who are you going to collaborate with? If you can, if you can't collaborate with anybody, what video are you going to make? And then you just sit on the bed at like 5 o'clock and you're like, holy shit. Then the game started. The game started at 5 o'clock here now. And you watch the games and you go to bed and you repeat the same thing the next day. I'm telling you, it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
This is gonna sound like I'm just blowing smoke up your ass, but I recently watched that NBA doc on Netflix where they like follow the players. I forgot what it's called, and they went through LeBron's day, like how his game day actually starts at 8 a.m. Just the game's at 7 p.m., but his game day starts at 8 a.m. Not saying you're LeBron, but that's what came to mind was like how much prep work goes into sitting on a couch in that first game and LeBron playing that first minute of that first game.
That's hey, I'll take that all day long. It's actually a great video idea. A day in the life of me on the road. Thank you. I will be doing that.
Oh yeah, all the girlies do that. They don't whatever. But like, you know what I mean, the day in
I'm
the
gonna do
life
it.
or come with me to this, that shit sells. So,
A day in the life of a guy traveling across Canada making content, like, and actually show people my whole day from start to
mhm.
finish. Like, I think that'd be a cool video to watch.
Or even day in the life of a content creator, day in the life traveling across Canada. You make both and then people are like, "Wait a minute, that's the same dude." And you're like, "Yeah, that's how
What's
busy
up?
booked and busy I am." So,
What's
and then
up?
day in the
Yeah.
life of Tucker too. There's another one that has to be made.
Well, he's just by my side the whole day, literally. I don't even know where he went. It's
When's he
like, screw
getting an
you.
Instagram page?
You know what? I thought about it heavy, but he's already 7, and my heart and everyone else's heart would break if he didn't make it to, like, I don't know. I don't
Mm,
even like thinking about it, but
yeah.
if
Okay.
he was a
Sorry about
if he was a puppy, no, it's okay. If he was a puppy, I would, but I just love having him by my side. And you know what? He is 7, but he's only 45 pounds, and he's so healthy. Knock on wood. So I mean, I should have him till he's at least 15. I would say. Um, I don't think he's unless something bad happens, like cancer or something. Knock on wood. But yeah, I think we're good there. But no Instagram page for Tucker because what I do takes up so much energy and time. I couldn't even imagine having another freaking Instagram page to run. No way.
that. Yeah. You need someone else to run that one. You need a Tucker
Yeah.
fan page or something like that.
Jeez. I know.
Yeah, or Three Overs Daily dog toys or dog sweaters. Just there's something there. We'll talk about
There's
there. I feel like there's something there. I don't know.
there's something there.
Cool. Well, I wanted to ask you something just out of curiosity. Regardless of who I had here today, I was just curious. Like the supposed impending TikTok ban coming up in the US. Obviously, I think you and I are in the same boat. A lot more results on Instagram than TikTok. But
Hmm.
obviously, TikTok is one of the biggest social media platforms and an important way we both disseminate our content. First of all, do you think this is going to happen? And second, is your audience mostly Canadian or American to a point that this would impact you in any way?
Um, to be honest, like a week ago, I was like, "There's no way it's happening," but I think it's getting closer to happening because I have really good American friends who are big on TikTok and they're scared shitless because they make 5 to 10 grand a month on TikTok and they don't know what to do. I think the only thing we can say is this: if TikTok goes, something else will come, and
Right.
if something else doesn't come, the other social platforms are still there, and those ones will just grow. Like people are gonna want to go somewhere to see social media. So, I mean, yes, if TikTok goes, the only thing is like it doesn't affect us because we're Canadian. We don't get paid on TikTok, but there are creators out there who make so much money on TikTok. Like they'll have the same numbers for TikTok and Instagram, and they'll make thousands more. So you got to wonder, is Meta or Facebook or are they going to start paying more if TikTok goes? Um, but there's going to have to be views from somewhere, and it's going to be on Instagram and Facebook. So people are still going to make their cut. People are still going to get their followers, but it doesn't affect me. So I'm trying not to think about stuff like that that doesn't affect me because I got enough of my own shit to worry about. But I do feel bad if my American friends are stressing out about it right now because that's just so stupid.
Yeah, I was just curious because I mean I'm in a similar boat where it's like Instagram is kind of where I've made money so far, collaborations, posting that kind of stuff. TikTok's cool, but most of my audience being American, it'll likely cease to exist. But I think there's an opportunity for the smaller creators or the medium to small size creators on Instagram and Facebook and just Meta in general because they're gonna just TikTok audience is gonna flock to the most similar app, which would I would assume
100%.
be Instagram
Instagram.
Reels or Facebook Reels. So you're essentially
Correct.
getting a brand new audience in that, like a new audience coming over, being like, "Oh, he's on here too." So I think it could help us. I'm going to
And
keep an optimistic perspective on this.
I like that too, man. Like, and you're right. Like, as selfish as it may sound, we're like, we are gonna get a new audience. We're gonna get a lot of people who, if TikTok's not around anymore, they're gonna, like I said, they're gonna want to see reels somewhere. Reels are now, and I don't want to say unfortunately because it's my job, but they are now the way of the world. Like I will put a Netflix movie on, and halfway through the movie, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Because I'm just like, dun, dun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm just like crap. Like I just missed the last 20 minutes because I watched one reel and then my automatic brain goes to swipe mode and I'm just like swiping up and I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Oh shit, we're 20 minutes. I don't know what's going on in this movie. So reels are the way of life, man. That's how people make money. I'm entertained by reels. I watch reels. I laugh at them. I enjoy them. I cry at them. It's just the way it works now.
I still like a good movie here and there, but I'm with you. It's just having the
Oh
phone
yeah,
having the phone next to me during a movie, I can't because I'll pick it up if
bad
there's a
idea.
slow scene
Yeah,
or something boring. Or the
yeah,
worst is when you're watching something like a Narcos or Squid Game, something foreign where you check your phone, you're like, oh, you didn't even hear what's happening because it's all subtitles. You got to go back and all that. So
yeah. I get you.
feel that. So what do you do to besides, sports gambling on the trip during the days? Obviously you're working. Is there any other free time? Like what other some hobbies you've picked up or things you do on the trip?
Finding dog parks in every town I go to. I've
Okay.
found a dog park in every town I go to, and I go make friends there. Tucker goes and makes friends there. It's a way to get him tired. To be honest with you, man, like you would think that I'd be bar hopping and having a beer here and there, but by the end of the day, I'm so damn tired that I'm just so excited to find some good food and go back to my hotel. And there's so much prep that goes into the next day that I need to be on my bed, in my bed, on my phone prepping for the next day, just or else I'd be screwed for the next day. So there hasn't been much going on outside of me working, and that's okay because uh, the trip's gone so well and the videos speak for themselves. So playtime will be over. Like I'm gonna go to Vegas when this is done. I'm
Hell
gonna
yeah.
do a few. I'm gonna go on another week long vacation down south. Um, yeah, playtime will happen for sure for probably 2 or 3 weeks when I'm done. But until then, I'm like just super dialed on making sure everything I do is done right.
When was the last day that you missed a video?
Well, I didn't make one on New Year's Day, but that was planned
I see.
because
Well,
we
like
went.
holidays excluded. Like the last time you were just like, I
Oh
can't do
man,
that.
I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
That's amazing, right?
I couldn't tell. Yeah. Well, on this trip, I haven't missed a video, and even like Three Overs Daily before, like in my basement, there would be. I think I think the day after my going away party, I had planned not to make a video that day
Well, I mean,
because
it's in the name,
that
daily, right? That's the third component of the name, right? So,
Three Overs Daily. Yeah, baby.
well, as we approach the end here, we've talked about the start of the journey. We talked about where you are now. Let's look into the future. Crystal ball, whether it's this year, next year, 5 years from now. What is the future of Chip, and what is the future of Three Overs Daily?
Um, I always want there to be a Three Overs Daily. Three Overs Daily is now a company, so I always want there to be a Three Overs Daily. I always want Three Overs to be chosen daily. But that being said, like I do want to make it, and I don't know what that means yet. It could mean, having my own little TV show. It could mean getting picked up by a sports network, and they want me to do Three Overs Daily on their sports network. It could mean anything. I don't know what making it means until it happens, but I'm not going to stop till I get there. So I think until then, it's just work your ass off and do it the old-fashioned way. And I just believe in myself, man. I don't want to say I'm too far into this because that means like that I'm stressing. I'm not too far into this to stop. I just believe in myself too much. So the future, who knows? But I'm gonna keep doing 3 overs a day, whether it's me or someone else on my channel. There will always be a 3 overs daily. Um, but I just want to make it, man.
That was an absolute mic drop. I don't know what making it means, but I'm not gonna stop till I get there. Wow, that was some damn. Like that's one of those motivational things you see on Instagram. Wow. I
Yeah,
hope that gets clipped up.
dude,
That's a
that's
good one.
that's the first time I've ever said that.
Well, it sounded like it was from
Yeah,
somewhere or like,
I don't know. It just came to
someone
me because
said it.
I was thinking as I was talking. I don't know what making means because I don't know what the end is when it comes to making it. But I'm definitely not stopping.
Yeah, what you said there was beautiful. That just I got heard that. I was like, damn, is that his? Who made that? I was like, that was pretty cool.
Good.
Awesome. Well, I mean, what's the parlay for tonight? Let's end with, because this will come out
Let's see.
Thursday. Today's Tuesday. Let's see if we got
I
some
don't think
winners.
it's I don't think it's doing too hot here, boys. Let's just check it out though. Boys and ladies, excuse me.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, Flyers Blue Jackets was 1-1 10 minutes into the game. It's now 1-1 into the second. And then the other game is the Panthers Devils, the only other game that's 0-0 on the 13 game slate. So that's fun.
Well, you know what? It's okay. Like you said, you can go 14 days in a row with losing
No, I'm not
and
worried.
still be
Not
up.
worried.
Not worried
Not
at
worried
all.
one bit. Not worried one bit.
Not worried at all. All right, before we go,
And
one last thing.
I just want to say one thing before we go, man. I'm so proud of you and your recent success, and it's so exciting to see how fast you've grown, man. You're almost at 10K. I think 10K on Instagram is such an accomplishment. It's so hard. People don't understand how hard it is to get real, genuine followers. And once you hit that 10K number, I think things start to change a little bit. Businesses look at you differently, collaborations look at you differently. Once you have that number and a K beside it, it's just a much different look. So you're almost there, and I'm really proud of how far you've come, dude. You're actually kicking ass.
Thanks, Chip. I appreciate that. And to your point, it is very much brands look at you differently. I've been kind of looking into the UGC influencer marketing route, and there is a marketing PR agency in Toronto that you can kind of put your name in the influencer pool. And I was going to, and it says must have minimum 10,000. So that is something people look at. Like they literally put it in the terms. So
Yeah, yep,
seeing those 4 digits go to a K is going to be sick. But I mean, listen, we're both going to
yep.
hit that thing soon. Not to
We
worry.
are,
We're
we
both
are,
going to hit that thing
we are.
soon. I wanted to
Yep.
end with one last thing. Whether it's from this trip or since the video started, what is the craziest parlay hit you've had so far?
Whew. I think in the summer. Okay, so in the summer there was one where we had two. We hit the first two baseball games, and the third baseball game was 1-0 going into the ninth inning. At the top of the ninth, we needed 9.5. The Dodgers scored 9 runs at the top of the ninth. And I was on Instagram Live for that one, and it just was nuts. I had a bunch of people tail it for some reason, and then the very next day, the same thing. We hit the first two, and the Yankees were playing. I forget who. Don't care. But Aaron Judge hit a grand slam to walk off and win our parlay. So like 2 days in a row was just like complete magic.
that's
So those
that's
are ones I'll
sick.
never forget. There's some on the trip that I've hit, like there was the football game there where Atlanta. It was like 3 weeks, 2 weeks ago, whatever. But Atlanta, the QB for Atlanta, the new QB for Atlanta, the
Penix,
kid from yeah,
Mike
Penix.
Penix. Yeah.
He- Yeah, he threw the touchdown on the very last play of the drive to hit the over and tie the game. And then we also needed 3.5 catches for Zach Ertz. And because Penix tied the game and hit the over in overtime, Zach Ertz caught his fourth catch to hit that bet too. So those are probably the craziest ones. But I mean, I've hit so many wild ones that are just like emotional wides, like the Winnipeg one. That
Hmm.
wasn't a part. That wasn't a parlay, but over 5.5, and I
That
was
was where
at
my
the game,
mind went. Yeah.
and I had the 5.5 sign and everything. I was like this ignorant slut who just like was carrying this big sign over 5.5, and Winnipeg's winning 3-2. They score an empty netter with less than a second left, and it was like the scene from the Titanic, just craziness. Hit the
Well,
parlay. It was like a $1,200 swing.
it was for a scene from the Titanic. You put the music behind it. I was
I
like,
know.
this is perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I've
No,
always
that's
wanted to do one of those videos, man. With this, I was like, "This is the one."
yeah. That's crazy. I mean
Didn't you shared that one? You shared that
that
video.
was the
You're
first
like
one that came to mind when I said biggest
iconic.
hits.
Yeah.
But then I was like, that wasn't a parlay. But I do remember that one is like
Yeah.
for me the
Yeah.
craziest. But the fact that you remember the exact situation of the game, the exact score going in, and even the Aaron
Oh,
Judge
yeah.
one, you even knew the player. That just shows how important these things are.
Those ones were huge. Yeah. And the Dodgers one, we won from a wild pitch. And it wouldn't have cashed if it wasn't for the wild pitch because the next pitch was a strikeout.
Yeah, that's why you
So it was
gamble
a
for.
wild runner on third. No, there were 2 outs, runner on third, nobody else on. They've already scored 8 runs. We needed 9. Wild pitch, and the next pitch he strikes out.
Moments like these are what make it all worth it. Honestly, this is what
Yeah,
it's all about.
I'll never forget that one. Oh, and if you're wondering where Tucker was, he's literally lying right at my feet. I thought he was like way over there in the room, but he's at my feet. A little shit. Oh, what a great guy.
Well, he must know I'm rapping. I don't want to keep you too long, but Chip, appreciate you coming on. Let the people know where they can find you, social handles, merchandise, whatever you want to plug. Now's your chance.
Yeah, 3OversDaily on all platforms. I'm very keen on Instagram because that's where we make our money. So please follow. And I always say this: if you want to help any of us creators out, engagement's the way to do it. We don't ask for money. We don't ask for anything. We just ask for engagement, which is free and it takes you 2 seconds. Share, like, comment. We see it and we appreciate it. I promise you that.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you taking the time. Good luck with the rest of the trip. Hopefully, Toronto is a stop on the way home, and I'll see you then.
Dude, I thank you so much. This was actually so fun. I appreciate it. And hey, you're a hell of an interview, man. Those were some great questions. Holy shnikes.
Thank you.
Great questions. I haven't
Thank
been asked
you.
like 4 of those questions. And you know what? You made me go down deep. I appreciate it.
You hear that, Sportsnet? Great interviewer. Talk to me.
Boom, boom,
All
boom,
right.
boom, boom.
Take it easy, guys. We will see you soon.